Let's begin our examination of the alarming lack of meaning of our everyday words with a word that is perhaps the most abused and exploited of them all, the superlative best. The word best summarizes what most individuals strive for, the pinnacle of pinnacles of perfection. It points to the highest desirable achievement possible. Best. It is what everyone wants. Thus, as best is what everyone wants, companies, naturally, strive to present themselves as best. To this effect, they do not hesitate in creating dubious categories that justify their being the best, in order to avoid being guilty of conspicuous linguistic transgressions. Car makers, for example, aspire to position their cars at the top of their class. Therefore, they create dubious categories that position their vehicle in such a way that it is inevitably the only one in its class, so that they, by default, end up best in their class. Such as this United States car maker with his best-in-class space label, which means that he's the biggest classroom space of any full-size sedan. No other car maker aspires to create classroom space in their sedans. Therefore, this manufacturer, by default, wins the dubious best in category without having to resort to deceitful advertising. Cosmetic companies, on the other hand, known for their high standards of honesty in advertising, have become even more cautious of linguistic transgressions. These days, they spend great capital on consumer studies that definitely proved that their products are the epitome of the word best. In this case, best meaning liked reasonably well by at least 101 out of 200 women, if you read the fine print. Others, though, as in the case of a certain cruise ship company that ascertains that theirs is the best way to see the world. Whoa, shit. As far as we know, there have been illegitimate studies to prove or confirm the fact that cruising is in fact the most desirable or excellent way to see the world, especially its mountainous and landlocked areas. Okay. Other unimportant companies, unfazed by what bad publicity their misuse of words might create, completely disregard the assigned meaning of words and arbitrarily assign their own meaning to them. Such is the case of a certain downtown Toronto hotel, claiming to be the best Canada has to offer. While this claim is not far from the truth, it is not entirely 100% accurate. I repeat, while this claim is not far from the truth, it is not entirely 100% accurate. And to make matters worse, their statement which follows abuses the word better as well as the word finest immensely. It reads, and I quote, "Spring is here, and there is no better place to celebrate than in the city with the finest theater, shopping, and world-famous attractions." While down on Kingsway, the most beautiful street in the world, trademark, an avenue that cuts through the heart of the cities of Vancouver, Burnaby, and perhaps New Westminster in British Columbia, is known worldwide as the cradle of word misuse in the greater Vancouver area, and is where one finds many ego-inspired linguistic transgressions, such as the one by a certain no-name delicatessen shop on a major intersection that claims to produce, I quote, "the best sandwiches in North America." To date, there have been no continent-wide studies done to evaluate the bestness of sandwiches in North America, which causes us to conclude that the word best has lost meaning, especially on Kingsway, as well as on a certain Bowen Island on the coast of British Columbia, where a certain alcohol and drug treatment center claims to be the best in alcohol and drug treatment. The best where? On Bowen Island? In what sense? Since it is highly likely that this is the only rehab institution on Bowen Island, their misuse of the word is probably not as blatant as the misuse by a certain North American society of plastic surgeon that shamelessly abuses another word from the good family of words, that is the word better. 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 Apparently, and I quote, "You can't make a better choice than choosing plastic surgery." Personally, we at BSP Production can think of a number of choices better than plastic surgery. For example, Menage a Trois with my wife Olga, the gold medal winning Olympic gymnast. And which causes us to question whether the word better has been used here properly. Keeping all this evidence in mind, it would not be far-fetched to consider that the superlative best and its cousin better have indeed lost their meaning in our society. They are used gratuitously, its meaning attributed as needed. However, best is not the only superlative that has lost its meaning. Others, such as the word most, are being equally deformed, as they are highly desirable words all in all. As can be witnessed in an advertisement by a certain British Columbia real estate development seller of smoke and mirrors that uses the word most in the context of marketing its shapeless yet unbuilt ferroconcrete slabs enveloped in glass and aluminum, dubbing it as downtown Vancouver's most stylish New Yaletown address. Since it hasn't been built yet, our architectural experts agreed that it is indeed the most stylish building to date in Vancouver. However, our street and neighborhood experts agreed that this address is definitely not within the prestigious and therefore overpriced Yaletown section of downtown Vancouver. It is a minor technicality, same as calling British Columbia a picturesque annex of the United Provinces of Canada. It's just a technicality.